Just give it a second. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Jacksonville Recreation and Parks Advisory Committee. Call to order for the meeting. First thing on our list is the approval of the agenda for our last meeting, which was the January 28th meeting. So if I can...
Motion to approve.
Second? Anybody? Second. Second. All right, there we go. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, all opposed? All right, meeting minutes are passed. All right, next thing comes up is the approval of the agenda itself for tonight. I'm sorry if everybody takes a look. Everybody has a copy of the agenda in front of them. Any problems with the agenda as it's written?
Motion so made to approve it.
Second. Second, all right, all approved? All right, all in favor, I should say. There we go.
Aye.
And all right, let's move on. The next thing is our director's report.
I'll go first tonight and try and make this as quick as possible, but hopefully not this part of it. We have a new member with us tonight, Mr. Kendrick Rogers. He's from Jacksonville. He's now going to be part of our group, and we look forward to having you here. We look forward to your input and are happy to have you and your support as we continue to move forward in Jacksonville with our Recreation and Parks Department. Thank you for volunteering.
Thank you.
So from the park side of the house, this is our time of the year where things are very repetitive for us. Not a whole lot to tell you. We are mowing, weed eating, and blowing, and repeating. However, some of the things you may have seen around the city recently is we've done some massive flower change outs at the front of the cemetery, at Riverwalk Park, the Freedom Fountain. We've been able to get some of that done, and summer's almost here, but from our seat to his. But we want Jacksonville looking as good as it possibly can. One other thing I wanted to talk about, I'm sure Steve is very well aware, the Northeast Creek Playground the actual playground itself is completely installed. We're a little bit in a holding pattern right now. We're waiting for concrete pathways to be laid out. Once they are laid out, the rubberized surface will come in and we will open that playground up. Our hopes are that next week we'll start seeing the concrete get poured, and then shortly after that, the rubberized surface will come in and we'll be able to open the playground up. And then last but not least, one of the things that we have struggled with this year, and we struggled a little bit last year with it, was hiring seasonal staff. We had a very difficult time last year being able to get help. We currently use temp agencies to help us, and we saw some problems last year in the fact that only about 2/3 of the positions that we had available were able to get filled, and that created a lot of havoc. If you remember me talking about it last year, we were a little short-staffed last year and created a lot of havoc for us internally in being able to get what we need to get done on daily and weekly basis. This year, we've had only 1/3 of that able to be filled. So what we tried this past weekend was we worked with the manager and the HR department, and we did a little job fair on Saturday morning. And we went through a process of advertising it in the span of about 6 or 7 days on social media, and HR and media services were very important in doing those sorts of things. And we had over 30 people come out, and that's a big deal for us, because moving forward, we now have a pool of employees that are going to be able to help not only us, but potentially the streets department and some other departments within the city to be able to get some things done that currently we want to get done. We just don't have. It's not from a lack of funding either. It's not like we don't have the money to hire people. We're just having trouble procuring the actual person to do the work. But hopefully with what we were able to do Saturday, and again, props to our HR department and to our media services for leading that charge and getting a great output.
Mike, do we have the ability to put ads on the transportation buses that we have?
I don't think we do. That's not a question I can really answer, but I have talked a little bit about that in the past, and I think because the buses are federally funded,
Okay.
that prevents any ads from being put on.
So, if you guys could post, the city of Jacksonville, since it's ours, if you could post.
I did bring that up before
Snapchat,
concerning actually other funds from other places too, because I've seen it done in other cities, but I can't remember the exact answer on that. I just know
Well, I can tell you from, HR field and recruitment, through everything that I do, it's becoming very difficult to find folks. It's the job market, which is a good thing, but for those that need help, it's
It's
difficult.
tough, it's a struggle.
Because I do know it's rough out there right now.
Well, and hopefully we'll have resolved some of that as the rest of this week goes by. We'll know more information, but feel very good about what was able to be accomplished this weekend and how potentially we'll be able to move forward, because we're basically stretched very thin trying to do things, and everything's important, but obviously you have to prioritize at some point and say, okay, we've got to do this, we're not going to be able to get to A, B, and C the next week, and we're at a point where we are prioritizing daily and sometimes even hourly, just because it just depends, how are we moving in certain tasks, and how is that going to affect the rest of the day. So just be aware of that. I think it's good news, and again, thanks to HR and Media Services. The last thing is Jim sent an email, I believe today, and had asked a question about some property.
The Welcome Center at the
Yeah.
Jacksonville Landing.
Yeah. And, the Welcome Center, and you actually asked about the Exxon station,
Yeah, that's
right?
right.
So the Exxon station was would you like to move forward with this, or
Well,
Councilman?
basically, we purchased the Exxon area, and hopefully that's going to be where the Welcome Center is going to be, up in that area, be the gateway into Jacksonville. So got some work to do.
I think what's going to happen now is, I think, the first step is to potentially hire an architect
Right.
to be able to look at the building
See what it can be used for.
and see how it can best be used without completely ripping it down and starting from scratch. Obviously, it was a smart move by the council to buy that piece of property, because now that whole area is one piece and
Right.
it's all city owned, and that's makes a lot of sense, especially if you're going to build a welcome center, which I think we know that the city has expressed an interest in that, for a year or two at least, and it's a great opportunity moving forward. And I'm not sure that answered completely your question, Mr. Wheeler, but hopefully,
Kiosk.
yeah.
Pretty
Which
much.
kiosk is
Yeah.
part of the welcome center.
Will we have to do anything like remove the gas tanks and all that stuff underneath?
I believe all that was
Yeah,
part of
right,
it,
that's part
yeah.
of it.
It's already been done,
Right.
Oh, wow, okay.
yeah.
I was gonna buy gas there a couple of weeks ago. I was too late.
You and a lot of people, I think. Thank you.
Is that it? Okay, my turn. I wanted to bring you up to date on all of our stuff we have coming up, but just as a quick rehab, we had our Jamboree event a couple weeks ago. It was a great turnout. It was a beautiful day for us. We had a great turnout on vendors, both food and marketplace. We had some great basketball, two weekends over the course of weekend before and the weekend of. I think we were about at 85 teams total coming out to play at the Commons. Softball, car show, and then lots of activities for the kids, games, rides, pony rides, rock climbing wall, on and on and on and on the list goes. So great weekend, and kudos to everybody. It's a all hands on deck event as far as the city goes, because it requires a lot of departments and as well as my folks. So it was a good event, good day, and moving on to planning the next one, Winterfest. Couple of summer events is coming up. Obviously, kids get out in a few weeks, so you can expect that we have all of our summer day camp programs planned and ready to go. We've adjusted. I might have mentioned at the last meeting that we've adjusted for Jack Amiette being down. We added Parkwood Elementary School to the list of locations, and so we're able to keep the level of service that we've always been able to offer, considering we're down a school. But thrilled that they're able to let us utilize Parkwood Elementary School. So same levels of service, just different facility. We started off Friday night, started off our summer events with movies and concerts. So this past Friday at the amphitheater, we are full steam ahead. So you can expect every other week is going to be a movie at the amphitheater. Everything went really well. Concerts will start in a couple of weeks, and then we're also going to have every Tuesday night, Onslow Winds is going to provide a concert to the public. So all free, all open. I would encourage anybody to go check out our Facebook page. Amanda does a good job posting everything, so it's really up to date, as well as our website. This weekend, Memorial Day weekend, all of our aquatic facilities will open up. So both splash pads will open up, as well as the community pool at Holiday City. So we are anticipating a great weekend with all of our aquatic facilities. I will mention, in case anybody asks, and I think, Lori, you have Jack Emmy yet? Yes. So the restrooms are not quite done yet. We're just waiting on some fixtures in there, but I anticipate in the next couple of weeks. We still have restrooms available in the building because they're external restrooms, so nobody's going inside the building because it's cut off. But we will we'll hopefully have those restrooms, brand new restrooms, completed in the next couple of weeks for the splash pad over there. So it'll be a busy weekend, splash pad, pool, everything going on. As an update to Jack Emiet, I will be doing a presentation tomorrow to council during the workshop meeting, and I'll be presenting them the survey results. I don't have the presentation for you folks tonight, but after I present to council, I will certainly make you aware of it. Long and short of it, we have 406 responses on the survey that we did to the local, what I would consider the New River area, and a lot of that was door to door. Some of it was mailed in, some of it was online, and then we did have an input meeting. But the majority of it was door to door, and folks did a great job doing that day in and day out. Mornings, evenings, Saturdays, and on Good Friday. So we tried to get a cross-reference of folks when they were home, and we got about 350. Quite a bit of those were the door to door. So I will be presenting the results on that to council tomorrow night. And last but not least, I wanted to make you aware that we've made it a change in our skate park. So we did present to council an opportunity to change the ordinance. Up until now, we have been supervising the skate park with a full an attendant, and we did some research, and it's always kind of been the state statute that we don't have to have an attendant. We're probably one of the very, very, very few public parks I know in North Carolina, much less South Carolina and Virginia, that actually staff that. But according to the general statute, we're really not obligated to, because assumption of risk is assumed when you go in, provided you're wearing your elbows, helmets, and knee pads. So you can anticipate in the next couple of weeks. Did I get that wrong?
No, you were good.
Knees. Okay. So I had to check my spots. Yes, it's a mouthful. So I would probably anticipate we still have to do some work before we can completely go unsupervised, and we certainly want to give the public notice. But I would anticipate probably middle of June or end of June. We'll be sure to let parents know. Honestly, the good news is it's gonna be open for more hours than what it is now, because we can leave it open. It can open in the morning, and it can stay open until 8 at night, which is more than what we're providing to the citizens now, because we don't open until 3, because we don't want to open until school gets out. And then, because of staffing, we weren't open on Mondays. So in any case, the skateboard population or users are very excited at the possibility of utilizing the skate park more hours, and in the evenings and the mornings too. So I just wanted to make you aware, should you get any calls from any citizens, it was approved in the ordinance, and we're happy to move forward on that. So I think that's about it. Tried to go fairly quick. Any questions on anything?
The cost of the community pool, is it staying the same?
Yes.
Okay.
It's like I think $1.50.
$2 for adults and $1 for children.
Okay, so 1 and 2, yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, Jim?
Can I make a plug for adult services?
Sure.
JoJo set up what's called an Eastern North Carolina barbecue tour
Yes.
for this month. And every Friday, they're visiting a different place. So they've already gone the 3rd, 10th, and 17th 2 more Fridays left, the 24th and 31st. So I don't know if there's boat spaces or not, but there's your chance.
Full with a waiting list.
Is it?
Oh,
Wait a
wow.
minute. Okay, good.
What's double the cost?
I could probably fill 2 buses if we really wanted to try, but yeah, a lot of our trips do very well, and they typically have a wait list on any of our day trips.
See, we
That's
need
good
to
to
get one of those older, new buses that the
Older
city's
new buses.
replacing, the old,
We do have in the budget for a new bus. One of those buses is getting replaced.
gonna come over to us.
Yes.
With-
And it's
with-
a new one, not an old recycled one.
It's older, new
actually a
one.
new
Oh, it's an older one, okay. It's a newer old one, okay.
I'm okay with recycled, but when it's recycled, sometimes you still have some maintenance issues.
Yeah.
So I'm actually gonna get a new vehicle for the first time in ever.
One of the
Pretty
larger
much.
ones too, the ones that they put on the road now?
Oh,
No, it's not. It's a little bit more like the shuttle bus. Not as large as the large transit because we were a little challenged with drivers. But it's more like a shuttle bus, so a little bit larger than the ones we have now, but not too much larger.
Cool, it's 22 or 24.
It does not.
Doesn't? Okay, so still maxed at 18? And still not air brakes, which requires another.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
We try to keep it as versatile so that the staffing and the driving on those is best utilized, because unfortunately, all of the staff utilize those buses, and the air brakes is a whole nother layer of qualifications. It would really limit our opportunities to use it if all of my staff had to have air brakes, or I just have to hire a bus driver, which really limits us as well for picking up kids or, so. But we're thrilled we're getting a new one. Anything else? Anybody think of anything else? No? Okay.
All right, next is our council liaison report.
Good evening, everybody. Speaking of mowing and blowing, it's budget season. So, and we've been hit hard a lot, by the hurricane, and some other things have come up that is limiting what we can do with funds, so hopefully, fees didn't go up for
Yes, this is
For,
true.
you
Fees
know,
did not go for
the
recreation.
recreation, so
Thank
that
you.
was one plus. So, and hopefully, we'll get some good information tomorrow night and we can move from an educated perspective concerning Jack Amiat. It's that center of the city, really, when I look at it. So hopefully, it'll be something to complement that baseball field that's there. So, that's all for now.
Thank you.
All right, we're up for the members' comments and park reports. Mr. Ross?
Wooten Park looked great. No windows were broken. In good shape. Bathrooms, water fountain. Grills were even clean. Looked really good today, so it was very well kept. They do an excellent job keeping that park up, and I noticed on the ropes were reinforced on the ends, and look a little worn, but obviously they're safe. But you can tell a lot of people have been on those things,
I'll pass it on.
working on it and everything. So
Thank you.
it's a excellent park, looks very good.
Lori?
My park is better than your park. Jack Amiat, it's been around the 1st of May, but the water fountain was down, but I think it's because of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
Because they were there, so. But the parks look great, a lot of activity going on, especially with the weather we've been having. The movie the other night was jam-packed with folks that I saw when I was driving by. So other than that, it looks good. It's good to see people out running around with their families.
Mr. Engel?
Those plantings they put in around the new parking lot on the playground side, there's all kinds of them. Anyway, my dog inspects every plant.
Good boy.
Yeah, so I
I'm
said,
gonna write that down.
Inspected by.
Bye.
but a bunch of them are not looking all that good.
I can believe that.
Yeah,
Dry.
yeah, and then there's some weeds starting to pop up in a bunch of them too, so just take it. So the playground part's done, other than the surface?
Well, sidewalks and surface. The
Yeah.
sidewalks have to go in and then the surfacing.
So we're kind of like way down on benches and trash cans. kids.
Right.
Yeah, because there's like,
We'll have new benches and trash cans out there when
When they get
we
done.
open it up.
okay, and any chance of getting a couple doggy parks on the playground side?
Yes, sir.
Like one on the entrance from Shadow Ridge, there's somebody's dog.
You have DNA for that now.
I'll bring you a sample. Hey, that's about it. Other than that, it looks good. And there's a lot of use, a lot of screaming kids. I want to play on that one.
And just to let you know, this will be the first full season with the splash pad and the shelter. The shelter is booked from this weekend through the end of July. Every day, Saturday and Sunday for every weekend.
That's great.
So
That's awesome.
it's good.
All right, Mr. Wheeler.
Well, Steve, you mentioned dogs. I had the pleasure of dog sitting my grand dog for the last 2 weeks. So on a daily basis, we did a walk over to Brook Valley Park, and it was well used every time I was over there. One thing I noticed is that on Monday morning, because of the weekend, that's the only time I noticed litter. And this was early. I come back 2 hours later, it was all picked up. So your guy must hit that between 8 and 9 o'clock on Monday mornings.
Sir, trash run.
And the other is more of a question. I asked Cindy one time, I said, is that a new picture? And she said, no, it's been up there for 2 years. So Mike, the signs over Brook Valley, let's see, Brook Valley Park, have they been recently painted?
Blue, I believe, correct?
Blue?
Yes.
Okay, was that recent? So it wasn't
Yes.
something that was done 2 years ago?
No.
Okay, good. But they really look nice and bright. I just noticed that the last week or two that they look good.
Thank you.
And Northwoods Rec Center, I stopped by there on the way here. The after-school program is in full swing. Parents were picking their kids up. They reported no problems. The air conditioning is working good over there, thank goodness, because of what the forecast is for the next week or two. I walked around the grounds. The only thing I noticed is they've got some cones outside. I don't know what they're marking for. They may be the relay races or something when they go outside. But those cones are really kind of in bad shape. I mean, they're still kind of sort of orange, but the
Right.
top's kind of gird and everything. They just don't really look good. It might be worth replacing. Northwoods Elementary is just across the parking lot. They've got all kinds of nice cones over there. I was very tempted to do a swap out, but no.
I'm not here.
But that's all I've got.
I think we'll get some guys.
Okay.
Yeah, easy enough. We can get some cones.
Okay, Joe, I'm gonna do proxy for Mr. Bernard Lane. He said he tried to send you some information, but for something, I guess he didn't have the right email or what have you. But anyway, pass on to the leadership that I'm sorry that I couldn't get back on time, but the trails, Woodland Park and Wilson Bay Park is all is looking good and being used often. Job well done to the guys, keeping it clean. Let me see what else. He said also concerned about Jack Amia, as everybody is. There's a lot of, he said it's a prominent area, like I said, center of the city. There's groups that wants to work with younger people, mentoring and providing different services for them. So we just hope that that facility is put back like he wishes it to be, the best facility possible. And that's all.
I appreciate that, sir. Really quickly, I'll go over Kerr Street, Riverwalk, and LP Willingham. I mean, the weather's been great recently, so people have been definitely utilizing the park. Everything from the pier, people fishing off of it, playing dominoes up and down the area, people walking, skateboarding. Everything in the area looks great. They do see the new flowers and stuff on the other side, right at the beginning where the rail car is sitting. Excuse me. I'm actually happy to announce for the first time since the storm came through that our ball field actually looks serviceable where we can actually use it. The 6 inches of mud are gone. I mean, everything that was underwater
Working
is
on
there. It's dried out. I was able to walk on it without sinking into it. So it's actually the ball field looks like it's serviceable. I mean, clean up, that's great, but it's something we can actually use. That's fantastic to see. We do have a couple of vacancy that Mr. Rogers here is going to fill here in the future.
Okay.
Before I just have them assigned to Georgetown and Sturgeon City, if there's anybody that's been around for a while that wants to swap one or two of their parks out or anything. Anybody happy where they are with the ones they currently have? Okay, by default, guess what?
Are you okay with that, Mr. Rogers?
Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. Georgetown and Sturgeon City will be the ones that you report on here in the future until we reassign otherwise.
Okay, good deal.
And now we're just up for our one city moment.
Okay. I don't know which one's first.
There you go.
I think yours.
Oh, okay. So I mentioned we had the Jamboree, so it was a great event. We had a talent show, great acts. We had 2 bands, and we had the Marine Corps, 2nd Division Marine Corps Band also perform. So just a really great turnout. She was one of the acts. She was like a hula hooper with like 8 hoops, and it was impressive. Arms, legs. It was impressive. I couldn't even imagine. Yeah, this was one of the bands. That's the crowd watching. Can't say enough about how great the Marine Corps band was. They were just really great and active and got everybody up on their feet, having a good time. Yikes, down there filming. Yikes, it was neat to film live. We got quite a bit. Food vendors, Amanda over here was in charge of all of our vendors. She did a great job getting a variety. And several people sold out of food for the day and had a great turnout. And we have some bands. Train ride. Pony rides. Rides. Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That is the rescue, that's their 2nd year with us, and they always bring out some unique rescue reptiles,
Never seen
so the kids love it.
Turtle, I mean, just
Mhm.
educational. Car show. Softball tournament, basketball tournament, general crowd. Real quick before I move on, I just wanted to, we do get feedback and we get surveys from both our participants and our vendors. And I'm just gonna toot everybody that's involved in this because we hear so much back from our vendors, which means a lot to us. We want our patrons to have a good time, don't get me wrong. But from our vendors, we heard nothing but what a great and well-organized event it was. Everything from the marketing to the packet pickup to the loading and unloading to pickup. We just continually hear about, this is so well organized. We really like this event compared to others that may not be as organized. So it just makes us feel good about the service that we're providing to our patrons, but also to the people that we want to encourage to come out, be a vendor with us, spend their day with us, and provide that additional service to our patrons. So great event by all, and I can't thank the staff and the team enough for it. So that's it for me.
Was there any issues with parking now that we have the big parking lot?
No, it was fantastic. And what we did is we utilized half of that parking lot for the handicap, and it worked out really well because we didn't have to shuttle people from across the street. So half of it was for handicap and the other half was regular parking. It just worked out really well, and we still had the shuttle running through it and then the shuttle running in all the parking lots, and everything filled up, sides of the road filled up. Everything was full, but it went smooth, and we didn't have any issues or concerns. A couple cars got a little stuck in the ditch, but that was about it. It went well. That parking lot is a tremendous asset.
I will tell you, from Commons Drive North, as big as the new parking lot is, you would have never known there was a new parking lot.
Yeah.
Because it looked like it did every year. It was mobbed.
Yeah.
Mobbed. And the parking lot was utilized to its capacity, so.
And
Which
transit
is a
in
good
the
thing.
parking lots, in the middle school and elementary school stayed full.
So one other one city moment, and again, we've talked about this already a little bit, the seasonal hiring event. You can see HR had their whole staff here on Saturday morning. We had, from the park side, we had all of our leadership group here. We literally had employees or individuals coming in that day, filling out applications, interviewing, literally going through a blitz process of trying to find people that wanted to work. And as you can see, we had makeshift setups. We did it right out of the parks building. We used offices, but we also used our Bay Area. And again, over 30 people showed up. That's That's awesome. When you're hearing from the agencies you're using that there's nobody out there, and for us to throw something together in 6 days, again, compliments to our HR department and media services for promoting this event in such a way and reaching the right people that, over 30 people came out there, and that's a big deal. It's a very big deal for our staff. I can't emphasize that
Everybody
enough.
just
Yeah.
sigh of relief at the end of the day.
Well, if
knowing
you drive
that
around
you're-
Jacksonville, like many of us do, you'll see the little pop-up now hiring outside a lot of these businesses.
Yeah.
If you go back many years,
Yes,
it wasn't like that before,
right.
so it's difficult.
I'm assuming that those 30 that showed up, if in fact they're hired, they'll be hired directly by the city. then?
Yes,
Good,
absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's all we have here for it. We're looking to adjourn. Our next meeting is scheduled for the 22nd of July, 2019, also same time, same place, 6 p.m. Do I have a motion to?
So moved.
Second. All right, all in favor?
I
We're adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.